Hello, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach. And in this installment, I want to take off again on a subject that simply fascinates me: talent versus consistency. And the main theme of this installment, this presentation, is that talent can only reveal itself through consistency. So, with that, we're going to dive into this one and see the difference between talent versus consistency and how one depends upon the other. Actually, talent depends upon consistency more than consistency depends upon talent. Okay, here we go. Hello, my friends. Not too long ago, I did another video on the subject of talent versus consistency. And I want to continue on the same topic because it's one topic that fascinates me, and it's a topic that gets people confused. You see, talent can only reveal itself through consistency. No matter how talented or naturally gifted you are, no one will ever be able to discover this unless this talent is revealed through consistent use of it. It is not what you have, but what you consistently use of what you have that makes a difference. You can only change the world through the consistent use of your talent. I want to talk about something that I will title in this segment the daffodil principle. Let me explain. High in the mountains of San Bernardino in Southern California, you can find an amazing garden the size of 5 football fields placed side by side, containing a golden yellow blanket of over 50,000 daffodils as far as the eye can see. The Daffodil Garden was started back in 1958 by Mrs. Jean Bohr, a retired school teacher and artist who decided to create a garden in the massive opening area surrounding her home. When you walk into this area, you breathe and take in all of its dazzling beauty. You are then given the answers to the immediate questions that are likely to be inside of your head right now. In the midst of all this colorful glory, you will find a well-kept A-frame house where on the patio there is a poster with a headline. Answers to the questions I know you are asking. The first answer is 50,000 bulbs. The second answer is one at a time, by one woman, 2 hands, 2 feet, and very little brains. The third answer is began in 1958. This has been coined as the daffodil principle. Simply put, the daffodil principle is learning how to move toward our goals one step at a time. Sometimes by moving just one baby step at a time. And while so doing, learn how to love the doing and discover the magic of time accumulation, which reveals itself through patience. When we accumulate tiny pieces of time in small increments of daily effort, we discover that we can accomplish extraordinary things through very ordinary efforts. Consistency is not for cowards. What makes people continue to press on in the face of opposition and setback? Courage. What makes a person persist in spite of all of the challenges faced? Courage. What therefore must be the driving dynamic behind the forward movement of consistency? Yes, you guessed right. Courage. We can say that consistency is not for the weak or faint of heart. And I literally mean it when I say that consistency is not for the faint of heart. Webster's New World Dictionary of 2003 on page 152 defines courage: the quality of being brave, valor. I would like you to focus on the etymology of this word. The core of the word courage comes from the Latin root cor, which means heart. I digress a bit, but the ancient Egyptians, when it was time to mummify the pharaohs and other important deceased, believed that the seat of the soul was in the heart. They believed that the brain served no purpose other than perhaps to produce snot. They therefore sucked out the brain tissue by inserting a long tube through the nasal cavity and then extracted and discarded the brain gray matter. I can only imagine that the persistence of the Egyptians to build the pyramids and to build the elaborate tombs of the pharaohs came from a commitment which they felt from the heart. Success is not the arena for the weak-willed, indecisive, and fearful. Not everyone is willing to be courageous, face their fears, and press on in spite of all opposition and distractions. And it's not a question of whether everyone will do it. The question is, will you do it? Consistency is not for excuse makers. We are only as successful as the excuses we refuse to live by. I heard it said once that in life you can only have one of two things. You can either have reasons or results, but you can't have both. Excuses don't work to move you forward. Excuses only work to make you feel comfortable to stay where you are. Excuses are the blinders that keep you from seeing who and what is responsible for where you are and where you're going. When my daughter was 16 years old, Lucelma told me that she was in a history class in high school, and the teacher was trying to make a case or justification for the poor to remain poor. When the teacher asked my daughter her viewpoint on the so-called poor, she said, "It is true that some people are born into disadvantaged circumstances, which may be beyond their control. However, most people remain in their circumstances by the poor choices they make thereafter. If you really want to do something, you'll find your way, and if you don't, you'll find an excuse." Discipline is at the core of all consistency. What do you think of when I utter the word discipline? There are at least two very distinct and opposite definitions of the word discipline, which is why most people scream and holler and run for the hills when they hear it. I'm just kidding. However, I would like to show the two ways that discipline can be understood. Again, I refer to Webster's New World Dictionary, 2003, page 187, to definitions that are numbered 2 and 3 of the word discipline. The definition number 2 of discipline is training that develops self-control, efficiency, etc. Now, contrast this definition with the discipline definition number 3. Strict control to enforce obedience. We can see that discipline which develops self-control and efficiency is self-chosen, and in contrast, a discipline which is imposed to enforce obedience is not the discipline we are interested in. Therefore, discipline with the goal of self-control and efficiency is a choice, and it is a choice which can only be renewed each day by the individual. Therefore, in conclusion, I would want to repeat and remind you that talent can only reveal itself through consistency. Once you decide that you will develop self-control and efficiency willingly, joyfully, playfully toward the achievement of your goal. All right, I hope you enjoyed the presentation on talent and consistency and knowing what each plays in terms of fulfilling the goals that you have. Of the two, talent and consistency, consistency is the more powerful. You can have very little talent and super consistency and do more than the person with super talent and no consistency. Do you believe that? You should, because it's true. Okay, before I go, I'd like to invite you to my community of consistent-minded people, my family of consistent-minded people at the Prosper Consistency Success membership site, where you will be a part of a community where we help each other to stay focused and achieve our goals. Part of the benefits of being a member is that you will have access to accountability partners who will be assigned to you as you will be assigned to someone else to help each other stay focused on your goal until it is achieved. Additionally, there will be live coaching calls where you can call in and get questions and answers to whatever obstacles or problems that you need to solve. So, I'd like you to go right now and check it out at www.consistencysuccesscoach.com, and you will be glad that you did. Additionally, if you don't know already, I put out daily consistent content on the subject of, guess what? Consistency. So as you don't miss out on any of the exciting installments that I believe that I put out, I would suggest that you like and subscribe right now so that you don't miss out on any future and upcoming installments. I almost messed that one up, but I got it right. So before I go, as I love to say, stay consistent and be successful.